Right, she on, boys?
Yep, we're ready to go.
Welcome back, YouTube. Do you like my shirt today? Oh, I'm dressed like Mark Nolan.
I'm Mark Nolan and my mates call me Nosy.
And what do you do, Nosy?
You're joking.
Bit of this, bit of that, cash in hand, all of his, I'm there.
Got my Aussie site shirt on today. We are painting and decorating.
Dropped out of school in grade 2 and got a trade, been doing cashies ever since.
Apologies, I've been smashing this out in evenings and this kitchen is actually for family.
Pretty much if you've got work and you've got cash, I'll be there with fucking bells around me fucking ankles.
So I can sort of come here at like midnight and do bits, and that's what I've been doing. And doing so, I've not been getting the camera out, waking people up. So we're back here today, Wednesday, just gone 10. Wednesday the 24th, yeah, just gone 10, coming up to 11. Let's educate you on a bit of painting and decorating, right here. Let me set you up in a better position. What I want to do is I want to illustrate flashing to you guys. Flashing a scene. And I'm obviously good at this job, so you can't see any flashing, but I suppose I can create some flashing. Just then I've got to go back over it. Right, this is what flashing looks like. So say you damaged your ceiling across here, right? And say you then like filled it, sanded it, and then went something like this. Does the camera pick it up? I think the camera might just pick that up. Will that come this way? Yeah, the camera now picks that up. So can you see how that is now flashed? Yeah? We've got paint going one way and now going the other way, and obviously on top of that it's wet. So we don't want any flashing. So what I'm doing today is I'm recoating this ceiling and I'm taking this flashing out. That's that. So now hopefully that should all look pretty wet. It kind of does. This is not, I've probably created some bad flashing in the process of doing this now. Because the idea is that you always keep a wet edge. And today is warm, so it's very difficult to keep that wet edge today.
And when you feel like you're nothing, but you wanna be something, yeah. Well, all you really need is hope. I just want you to trust me if you wanna be something.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go. Yeah.
Painting around the window. I've just started doing this reveal, and I thought, I'll tell you what, we'll do one to start with, right? So to get in these edges, what you would do is you would lay that on there like that, and then slowly then take that up to that edge. Bet you guys can't even see that, can you? So you know, look, what I'm saying is, if I wanted to, I could, but I'd be slow. I'm all about removing effort and making life simple. Take the tape, starting at the top, find the corner, then push.
All you really need is hope. I just want you to try.
That. So if I now try and do this up here, if I get that sort of started in that top corner, I push the reel of masking tape and then I just turn that like that. Then just continuing along that line.
Where your feet are, yeah, when you stand right here and say no. I'm never gonna give up, I'm never gonna slow. The one that doesn't give up never loses to a foe. The one that could show to myself I could go all the way to the top, can't stop.
And just like that, that's how you mask up the window. So peel that off. I put that tight against my angle and then I'm just peeling down, push, push, and I'm trying to all the time move that into the corner. Can't specifically tell you what one does what, but I can tell you the difference between the purple, the green and the yellow is for different situations. So like yellow is for freshly painted surfaces, and I probably should have used the yellow one on this one, and the green The green is like a soft masking tape, and then obviously like a white standard masking tape. It's quite harsh and it tends to pull paint with it. Yeah, the white is more like an actual gaffer tape. It's not nowhere near it, but you know, in context. I have that tape for when I cut out kitchen worktops, but we're not going to be doing that. So yeah, so this kitchen is a magnet trade kitchen, or magnet kitchen. I don't know whether it's trade or not. I've got it for the customer through a trade account. But so now look, I can take all my effort out of keeping that neat and just paint.
Back up to the grind and never lose sight of your mission. Be driven. This life is a prison if you don't have.
Not the best, but we can always sand it back and go again.
So be something somehow. Don't let yourself down. That's right.
If anyone is a painter and decorator and you're watching this and you want to pick me up on some things, I should be using a roller. I just currently, at this point in time, I don't have one. But please, what I'm teaching you is what I've learned in like 2008, and we're now in 2024. So I'm assuming there's far better ways and systems of doing this. And I'm a humble man. If you know a better way of doing this or any tips and tricks, comment below. I don't stand here and proclaim to know it all. Nobody could. One thing I do stand for is trying to educate everybody, including myself, as best as I possibly can. I've said this before in previous videos. It is very, very, very easy for people to stand on a building site or stand and look at the previous man's work and be like, well, I wouldn't have done it like that. And it's like, well, hold on a minute. You wasn't there in their situation and you don't know what they were up against. Someone could have been on a roof and it could have been pouring down with rain and they've only got, not that this is an excuse, but they only had 5 minutes to get something covered up because it was the end of the day, or the whole house was going to leak, or you just don't know the circumstances. And I'm not saying that's an excuse or acceptable. You know, you should take your time and do things properly. But I'm just saying you can stand there and say whatever you want about someone. But if you're not man enough to then tell that person they done this wrong or this, then don't bother saying anything, because you're just as bad as they are. If you want to pick on people's work, the only way we all evolve and all learn is if when the younger generation, oh, I'm not picking on the younger generation, or when the unexperienced does something, you don't correct them. The only way the inexperienced learn is by the experienced teaching them. Simple as. Instead of picking on people for their poor work, be a man about it, or a woman, be humble and then teach them. And if they don't want to listen, then that's on them. You've done all you could, but yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. Here's a little tip for my DIYers. This has just happened. I buy decent, well, I say buy decent, a straight out of Screwfix. Let me show you this. All right, this doesn't look too good at the moment because it's obviously full of brush marks, and I will go buy a roller and we'll roller this at some point. I'm trying to lay it on and brush it out as thin as possible so it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, it is what it is currently. Right, do you ever paint and decorate at home, guys, and like all of a sudden a brush bristle comes out and you're like, oh, try and drag it out. Watch this. Turn 90 degrees to it, and the idea is, there we go. I think that is just about on the end there. Yeah, it is. And then we can just, goodbye. And now we need to touch this up. Definitely need to get a roller on that. But there we go. That is how I take the pain out of going around windows. That is how I would personally recommend going around a window. I'm not saying that's the best or that's the only way. I'm just saying that's all I know. So if you know a better way, teach me. I'm a humble man. But there's some little tradey tips to going around a window and a bit of painting and decorating tips. Now if we look up here at this ceiling, that has dried a little bit. There's still a little bit of like where I haven't been around the downlight. This is not going to be the final coat. I'm not painting and decorating and finishing this. I'm literally just here to whitewash and then get my kitchen in. For the moment, I think we're going to leave that. Right then, if I do this and sit this here, will that stay there? Of course you won't. Do you remember what I said in the other video, guys, about setting out? Or it's maybe not even out yet, actually, because I might have said it in like a clip a minute ago. We start from corners. So this is how I set out my kitchens. So from this corner here, we want 1.35 m. So if I go 1.35, that's going to be there. And we've got an 18mm end panel to do. Stay there. Right. To do my 18mm end panels, I just pick like a 300 or a 200 or 100 and then go 418, 300, and 18, because it's just easier than trying to use the metal tip. Then from that 18 we have a 600, and again, when I next, like ideally I would do a metre 35 plus 18 plus 6 plus 18 plus 300 plus 18 plus 600, but it's there or thereabouts. If I just come off 100 mil, and if I go to 700, and if I then go to 718, then if I want 300, so if I start on 100, if I then do 400 and 18, yeah, panicked then. Right, yeah, so that is right along there. So I've got 300 there, a 600 there, and a metre 35 here. But then up here, this is where laser levels come in handy. So I'm gonna pick that 18 mil and this 600 as my center, and then I'll set out my top units. What have I marked out? I knew that that'd be wrong. How did that go that wrong? Anyway, let's move on. We'll pick that up at a later date. I've put them in the complete wrong place. I'll show you how we get over that. 700, and then another 700. That is going to be tight. Do this way. So I'm gonna put that on 600. And I'm just gonna do that. Right, this one's okay. This one's cool as a cucumber. That is pretty much falling. Right, now let's go the other way. So on the ground, I now need 635. Let's go lower than that. Let's go somewhere like here, 635. Let's turn you so that you can see me. So now is all I'm going to do is I'm going to set this wall out. So now let's set this wall out. I've just done this mark there. So 635, yeah, 330, 20 mil space. Which is that? 635, 600, 600. So look, if I'm not using like the 100 mil mark and doing 700 to say 100 for my marks, the other thing you could do, you can either, put a bit of lead here on the end of your tape like that, put a bit of lead here on the end of your tape like that, find 600, hold that on there and just do that, find 600 and just do that. So there we go, that 600 there is perfect for the sink that's in the center. So now I believe that's a 150 unit, but that marker's overrid it. Then we want another, is there an end panel? Bet there's an end panel. There is. So when I'm working that way and I'm like working away from myself, let me show you. So when I'm working there and I'm working away from myself, I pick, 218 or 318, and then I mark the 300 and I'm working away from myself, rather than trying to hold a pencil cat. Whatever works for you guys, there's no right or wrong answers here. I just do what is comfortable and simpler for me. I'm gonna put 18 mil there, and then we want an opening 629 and then 18, and then that leaves us with 635. No. Right, I won't worry about this wall for the moment. I've got too much stuff in the way. That can be sorted at a later date. But now let's start considering these corners and setting out across here. Right guys, let's put some light on the situation. Right guys, welcome to my messy kitchen, where I now need to explain to you what I was doing at home, because that wasn't recording audio. So what I was getting at with that part of the kitchen and measuring is these wonderful DeWalt. There's the little product code. Pause the video if you want to get yourself one. They literally, you see that wobble? So they're on like a plumb bob. They literally float and hang level wherever you put it. And then if it like touches, it flashes. Famous last words. Yeah, normally you see it does that. So what I was trying to explain in that video is, I will go outside, I will measure my plinth. And if I measure my plinth and that says 155 or 160, I will then get my tape measure and I measure my bottom legs on my units to say that plus 5 mil. So if they're 150 mil, just under 6 inches, I'll probably go to like 6 inches, but 6 inches is a good happy medium. Or you can, within reason, pick like a reference point where you want your worktop to like line in and then work backwards, but you have to be careful that the worktop's not then going to be too high. You then end up with a stupid gap. All it is like process of elimination. If you think ahead and think about the plinth needs to sit here, so now my units need to sit here, and check your floor levels, because if you've got like 15 mil difference across your room or 10 mil difference, you're probably going to have to plane something in and it's going to look funky, because 15mm is a hell of a lot in a floor. You know, that can feel like you're walking through Scotland and Wales, or whether you're walking on a flat ocean. So anyway, I was trying to explain in that previous video is you could come to, I don't have anything, but say like, well, I do here, you could nice and neatly use a radiator if there's something metal around. But in my situation where I was working, I just dot and dabbed all the walls and it's a square room. So there's no corner beads. Like, let me just quickly show you. Excuse the mess. So yeah, obviously anything with a corner like this in your kitchen, say if you've got a boxing in, dropping down, it should double check with a magnet, or, you know, never just stick that there and let go. Make sure that's on there. You could pick up a point like that, but this in a window is obviously way too high for kitchen worktop. So you do need, so you are really going to need like a box in. So it's what I do is I could clamp that there in my doorway, or if you're not changing doors, if you're not doing like a full-on reno like I am in that kitchen, I come along here, this saw here like that, and I will then magnet that to that part on the saw, and then I either slide it up and down the saw, or just unclamp and just gently go up and down. So say if I wanted to check my kitchen worktop, all right, if I come to there, I could now fine tune slightly. Here we go. Here's where I show how bad my laser is. Let's turn the lights off and have a look. Does that look cool? No, I'll tell you what, we'll just completely, there we go. No, actually, that kind of gives you an idea. Or maybe that. That's far too bright. If I dim it down, no. We'll go with that. So yeah, now you can see that like I've got like a 2 or 3 mil, 2.5 mil realistically, no more than 2. And it does depend on whether that is dirty. See how much neater and straighter that line is now. Yeah, look, without me getting in the way of it. Literally getting in the way of it there, aren't I? That is how glass flat my kitchen worktop is. And look, it's even that glass flat, it gets picked up at the back there. Here it doesn't quite because it's not spun that way. But yeah, look, right over the back here. See how it picks up the front edge and the back edge? That just basically tells me this is near enough glass flat. And yeah, that's what I was trying to explain in that video. Sorry I didn't check for sound. I need to get better at this. Right, back to the video. End of the video. I'm now upstairs. I should have ended the video downstairs. I've done my editing. It's come to 18 minutes. I'm going to save the nice bit, the beautiful setting out the kitchen and laser and stuff in, and proving I haven't checked the episodes, the clips. But yeah, fingers crossed, we've got sound. This week's riddle. What is full of holes but still holds water? If you think you know the answer, comment below. If you want more time, pause the video. If not, here comes the answer. So the answer to what is full of holes but still holds water, the answer is a sponge. My shit impression of cleaning windows. Right, we're stuck around 640 subscribers. So if you're new to the channel and you've made it this far, pretty please smash that subscribe button and make sure you're hitting that like button, because then it means your friends of friends and friends of their friends and friends that might not be friends yet, but you could be friends with, get to hear about me. Yeah. If you enjoyed the video, just smash the like button, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Charlie. This is CP Carpentry. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye.